Hello, everyone. I want to say hello and welcome to all the good old people out in the worldwide. We are streaming live through the World Wide Web. I wanted to say hello. I will go ahead and take this background off, and I will bring myself in here. I want to say hello to everyone. I hope you're having a beautiful day. If you are in the U.S., a beautiful night here, U.S., or day if you are on the other side of the world. Today is going to be a very interesting program, and I'm hoping that you're going to really enjoy this. This is really kind of the nuts and bolts of what really goes on within our life. I mean, we spend our life nutritiously and eating nutritiously. We try to do the best we can for our health by eating the right foods, although a lot of our problems are coming from foods that we have no idea. So let's go into our topic today. Our topic today is the most common allergenic foods that causes misery. I'm talking about misery and pain. Now, you may not be understanding how foods can cause pain, but I'm going to explain how that works to you in just a few minutes. But our mission today, hello chat room listeners, our mission today is to fight and combat this pain. Our mission today is to become educated on what things we can do and foods we can change to make our health happier, healthier, and obviously to feel well, that we don't have these constant problems. The first thing I want to bring out to people out there, we look at allergies, and our goal today is to try to fight these allergies by doing things that are smart. This basically shows us that we need to learn. You can see by looking at this little fun, colorful chart, we experience many kinds of symptoms, anywhere from swelling, sinus, asthma, eczema, stress, difficulty sleeping, difficulty breathing. Some people go in anaphylactic shock. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And we know the most common foods, and we're going to review that with you right now. But the first thing I want to explain to you is, what is an allergen? An allergen is a substance that causes an allergic reaction. So generally, we're talking about food allergies. We're talking about things that we eat, that we're exposed to, that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to sneeze, you have to have runny eyes, and it doesn't mean that you are kind of all clogged up. You have other symptoms like tinnitus, ringing in the ear, because your eustachian tubes keep secreting fluid because of the foods that continues to exacerbate it. Remember, we have a weakness. Each one of us has a different type of weakness. Some people develop stomach problems, some people develop colitis problems or IBS, and some people develop sinus, some people develop tinnitus, some people develop dizziness. So I want you to understand that all the symptoms are different. So what we're going to understand is that we're going to kind of pinpoint this and go through this, and I'm going to try to do it as quick as I can because I know it's late, but this is really, really good stuff. The first thing, basically, we look at intolerances, because a food allergy triggers the immune system that affects several organs of the body, not only just what we're talking about, and it can happen anywhere. We talk about gluten intolerance. It may affect the intestines, where we start having lots of pain. There are cereal allergens. There's coconut allergies. There are what we call celiac disease. Obviously, this can come from conditions where we get diarrhea, intestinal problems. There are many different intestinal colon problems from wrong foods. But the first thing we're going to do today is we're going to go into the different foods. And let's move on real quick because I had a lot to say here. We're going to look first at the egg allergy, which is very common, more common in children. We're supposed to grow out of this. Not all of us do. Now, there are 3 proteins in an egg white, and I'm not going to go into the different ones, but obviously one of the best things we can do with eggs to try to cut back this allergen is to cook it. Obviously, when we cook it, instead of eating eggs that are more raw or sunny side up, if we cook it more, we're going to have less allergies from this. So I wanted to bring that out. But many of you are allergic to eggs, but that is not the greatest thing. The other thing I want to bring out here is fish. I don't really see how so many people are allergic to fish, but they are. It just really depends. Now, obviously, this is not the main thing, which I'll explain in just a second, but cooking here doesn't destroy the fish allergens. But some people who are allergic to fish, particularly I like eating sushi, that's where you're really in trouble. So you'll know which fish or fishes you are allergic to. Now, while I'm on that topic, the best things we can combat this, because I'm going to kind of skip around, are our fatty fishes. Our fatty fishes, our salmons, our tunas, anchovies, sardines. The fatty fishes can combat this because of the omega-3s. And we'll get to that. It's kind of quite exciting. All right. So some people are allergic to citric fruits, but that's not a real big one. Glucose intolerance is a really big one. Now, gluten is the mixture in proteins found in cereals. Now, the main thing I want you to understand about gluten, we're looking at wheat, rye, and barley. Some people don't really understand that. Wheat, rye, and barley. So we develop celiac disease or gluten intolerance, which can really give us problems, particularly in the intestines. And I'm sure if you are one of those people who had that problem, you probably can tell me more and tell the audience more than what I can tell you, because this is something that I know people who had it that this really gives lots of problems. Lactose intolerance is some other thing that people are allergic to. I don't have, actually I do have something here. Okay, 1 second. But milk is a big one, as we know. And while we're on that lactose intolerance, people just, just can't handle milk. And obviously, some people take lactase to help digest the milk, which is the enzyme. But milk is a really big one. So basically, we're looking at dairy. We're looking at eggs. We're looking at milk. And we're looking at primarily the dairy type of family that many people are extremely allergic to. And when I say allergic to, you don't have to sneeze. You may be having your symptoms. I'm going to go into it just a few minutes. So, okay, as I skip around here. There are other allergies like meat allergies that I don't really see tons of them, but there are. Many people do have meat allergies. We look at shellfish, probably one of the biggest on the list. And I'm going to tell you the biggest on the list. We haven't hit that yet. But the shellfish are extremely big. Many people are allergic to maybe specific shellfish, but you have to be aware of this because this can cause anaphylactic shock. In other words, this can kind of choke you. This is kind of take your oxygen away, constrict your bronchioles, and really have a hard time breathing. So you need to be real aware that if you are having these symptoms. Now, getting on to what I love more than anything is right here. I love peanuts. I love peanuts. I love peanuts. I mean, to me, you could do so much with peanuts. Peanuts and peanut butter and jelly, peanut butter and honey, peanut butter and bananas. I love peanuts. But I can tell you that you may not be allergic to this at one time, but as you get older, you start saying, wow, you know what? I'm getting my eustachian tube start to clog up. I notice more sinus. I notice that I'm more nasal. I notice I'm having more indigestion. I notice that I'm having other symptoms. These are allergic reactions. We don't have to sneeze. You don't have to have a runny nose. You don't have to have a clogged sinus to have allergic reaction. Now, this is extremely, extremely highly allergenic. Not only peanuts, but certain other nuts, mainly from trees, but the peanuts are much more. Some people may be allergic to walnuts or almonds, but I love those because those are actually the best nuts possible, but I just had to bring that out to you. Soy is another big one, phytoestrogens. People say, I don't like soy. A lot of vegetarians claim that it's the best thing in the world for them. Soy is linked to estrogen. Estrogen is linked to breast growth, we can say, not necessarily tumors. There are studies on that, but too much estrogen is no good. If you're going to have soy or you're going to have estrogen-like foods, moderation. Too much can cause lots of issues as well. One of the other biggest one, obviously, is the wheat. The wheat, I can tell you, is extremely big. The cereals, on a lot of the things you're eating every day, you can be allergic to these things. So you need to be very aware of these wheats that you're eating. This can really cause lots of problems. When you talk about wheat, we think of kind of gluten, but many people are out there are on gluten diets, and obviously a lot of health food places today talk about on the wrappers it says gluten-free, but I don't really think so many people are gluten-related. I think you're more reactive towards peanuts, shellfish, soy, and stuff like that. I don't really believe so much in this gluten thing. There are many people are gluten that are very reactive to it, but I have seen it a lot more over-talked than overseen. So on those things, I want to go over a few different things for you, just to give you some other important topics about how we can combat these things. We look at, I'm going to leave my peanuts up there because I think that's actually what, I won't leave my peanuts up there. Let's go ahead and put my my little collage up there. I like that better. All right, but let's talk about a few things. Now, people are saying, you know, I have these food allergies. I don't really sneeze. I'm not really coughing. I'm not sick. I feel okay. Maybe some of you are snoring at night because you can't breathe. But I want you to realize that food allergies cause pain. Now you're saying, what? How can food allergies cause pain? Food allergies are inflammatory. Inflammation, which can be in the joints, it could be arthritic changes, it could be things that can flare you up, it could be inflammation around the neck, it could be in the muscles, it could be anywhere in your body. The mast cells secrete histamine. So generally what people do is they take antihistamines. So when you notice you're clogged, that's inflammation. I mean, you are getting swelling in the extracellular tissues that's coming from inside and making its way out, causing swelling. And when you get swelling or more mass in a certain area, then you can compress nerves and cause pain. So I want to bring out to my audience out there, and hopefully the many thousands who will watch this later, is that if you are in chronic pain and you're just going to the doctor and getting therapy and you're not watching your nutrition, and you potentially may be chronically inflamed all the time from food allergies because you're not sneezing, you're not having runny eyes, you're not clogged up, yes, you can have food allergies. I've seen it over and over and over again. And this is really the jut of this whole program, is that many of my listeners have pain, have problems. Herniated disc, bulging disc, arthritis, degenerative joint disease, forward head posture, anterior pelvic tilt, sciatica. And I can tell you, by changing your diet, you can feel better. And you challenge me because I'll challenge you. And a lot of you will see a change. So I want you to be more aware of that. Now, a few things I want to go over that I think is extremely important. If I could just get through some of this. We talk about antihistamines. We realize that, not to mention the nose or watery eyes, the congestion, making you feel miserable, but this will cause pain. I want people to realize that this will cause pain. A few things, let's combat this. Fatty fish, we talk about the salmon. Omega-3s, cut back the omega-6s. Make sure you beef up those omega-3s. Flaxseed, chia seeds. Make your chia seed pudding. Great stuff. Boost up those omega-3s and you'll see inflammation will go down. No matter when you're allergic to things, if you can combat it with omega-3s and anti-inflammatory foods, you can combat it and possibly still eat the foods you like and slowly get out of that pain and get out of those problems. So omega-3s are a biggie, and I don't want people to forget about that. We talk about even walnuts. I still like walnuts because they're great antioxidants. Omega-3s, flax seeds are great omega-3s. Broccoli, the greens, cabbage, excellent. Garlic, excellent. We can combat this, like oranges and peppers and strawberries. Great antioxidants, lots of great vitamin C. They've got great components, great nutrients in there to help combat these inflammatory conditions. There are studies out here on garlic that just shows astonishing studies on how these chemicals in the garlic can just combat those type of allergenic foods. So you may want to start adding more garlic and you can be amazed. Now, another great thing is yogurt, kefir, probiotics. Start adding probiotics to your diet and you'll start being able to start eating these allergenic foods and getting through it that you never did before. You're going to say, wow, I can eat this again, because you're counteracting it. And that's very important because that's your body's immune system. The best thing we can do in the whole world is fill our body up, our core, with probiotics, because probiotics keeps our intestines and keeps our immune system strong. Any good nutritionist, any good doctor will tell you that if you increase your probiotics, you will increase the vitality and life of your body, and you'll live a longer life and have less problems. You'll have less inflammation. You'll slow it down. You'll have less allergic reactions. Increase probiotics. It will do wonders for you. One of the greatest things that you can do that doctors and people don't even look at. Turmeric, one of my favorite. We talk about turmeric as the most powerful anti-inflammatory response. I love turmeric. The Indians out there from India, actually Indians all over the world, but particularly those people in India, they live on turmeric and they are healthy. This is a great combater for these common allergenic foods. And one last thing I want to leave you off with, and we just had a recent thing on this just the other day, is magnesium. Magnesium itself decreases allergies. No one knows that. I've done the studies. I've got it in front of me. You can control your allergies just with magnesium in many cases, okay? High magnesium foods, wheat bran, kelp, even in cashews. There's a lot of great magnesium foods. I always like to stay with the greens, the deep, dark greens. A little tip for you is when you're taking those deep, dark greens, your kales, even the broccolis, even the spinaches, those deep, dark greens, you are getting lots of great nutrients, magnesium, alkalinity, and it can do a lot of wonders for you. So I really hope that this really gave you a little bit of insight. I really wanted to review this because, people are missing out, even myself. There's so much that I learned, people. Ladies and gentlemen, I always say people, I have a bad habit, but I've been working on that. I learned so much by just getting on the net. And, this kind of stuff, even though I got a large background in nutrition, there's so much that they don't teach you. There's so much new research that's coming out all the time. And that's why I like to share this stuff with you. It's about love. It's what it's about. It's about love, your health, and about staying well. I ask you out there if you will share this particular video. This will be posted on my channel. If you have just come up to it, if it's today, a week from now, a month from now, a year from now, share these videos. You don't have to ask me. Put them on your social media. This is really important stuff. I really think it can really help a lot of people. And most important, this is all about health. It's about love. It's about healing. It's about trying to get off these invasive medications that are doing damage to our bodies. We talk about the ibuprofens. The ibuprofens affect the kidneys. The acetaminophen affect the liver, and these are very destructive. We do anything in moderation, it's fine. But when people are really living on these types of these meds, you need to be real careful. You need to preserve this body as if it's your castle. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this, and I ask everyone out there to make it a great day. And the last thing is Motivational Doc on Facebook. Go ahead and like it. Go ahead and leave your questions over there. And most important, as I say, God bless you, your family, and loved ones. And we'll catch up with you real soon now. Bye-bye now.